The entire cryptocurrency market is in the process of a breakout. And as we speak, Bitcoin is breaking through major resistance levels and approaching its major overbearing resistance at $33,000. So today I want to talk about this turn of events in cryptocurrency because when we left off last week, crypto was in quite the situation. It was in a pickle, but seemingly this large descending triangle and this 20-day moving average on Bitcoin have been broken. And a large reason of this is because of how much NASDAQ is continuing to move to the upside as well. So I want to talk about this NASDAQ Bitcoin correlation because it looks like we are beginning to get a little bit more correlated again as opposed to last week's movement. But I also want to talk about the general sentiment in crypto across the board because it is becoming continually more bullish as well. Again, the lower that cryptocurrency is getting here, the more buyers that we are seeing, hence why we have not been able to break and hold below that $29,000 support, which we're going to cover in this video again as well. So if you're new to the channel, welcome back. My name is Brendan and this is the Crypto Analyst channel, and we cover everything crypto related here. Now, when we're first talking about Bitcoin, we left off with this beautiful descending triangle on our chart, and it didn't look great because this is a pretty clear bearish formation and continuation pattern. And when we're looking at a descending triangle like this, we also need to account for this 20-day moving average, which is this purple/blue line that we have on our chart that has been continually moving farther to the downside. Now, the reason that I bring these two up is because if you look at the last time that we saw this 20-day moving average, it was rejections and just more of rejections. In fact, every time we got close to this area or touched it, Bitcoin saw a sell-off to the downside. And so it was expected that if history was supposed to repeat itself, this would be another one of those situations, but it wasn't. So what ended up happening over here was there were so much buyers and people are so comfortable buying crypto stocks, everything over here, that we not only broke out of this 20-day moving average, but we also broke out of a very bearish formation pattern, which was this descending triangle. Now, the reason that these are so bearish and why they almost always play out to the downside is because they are squeezing to the downside. They have a falling level of resistance with a flat level of support, and what's happening is support is not able to move, so it is growing continually weaker, while the sellers are able to continually push price further and further and further down until this flat level of support can't hold it all anymore, and the squeeze happens and a breakout usually happens to the downside. Now, the reason that I explain that and why this is a good thing is because if we're able to see something that we know has been a form of resistance and rejection for Bitcoin just a couple of weeks, just a couple of months ago, multiple different times, on top of a very bearish formation pattern, if we're able to nullify all of that and break out of all of that with quite the nice green candle. I mean, Bitcoin's up almost 4% on the day already. That has to be a sign and a testament of how strong Bitcoin is at this range. Now, we've been talking about this a lot in the Crypt Nation group, and I actually just have a newsletter that's about to roll out for them as well, where I talk about all this in a lot more detail. So if you're interested in joining Crypt Nation, definitely check out that link because it's a useful one. You know, I tell you that it's a cool group, and I love what we get to do over there. But one of the other things that we talked about over there is if we go over to this weekly RSI and MACD, we can see that Bitcoin is definitely forming higher swing low after higher swing low after higher swing low in a very upwards motion over here. So I like the fact that we are forming continually higher swing lows on the Bitcoin MACD chart. And I also like the fact that, guess what? We mentioned this as well. We mentioned this one on the YouTube channel and in Crypt Nation. But this was an area that is very familiar to us. In fact, this is the exact spot, almost to the decimal, that Bitcoin bounced during the 2020 Corona crash. And just below this is where Bitcoin bottomed in 2018, right before it had its massive turnaround from one of the largest bear markets in crypto history. So we knew that we were at a very familiar spot. This is where Bitcoin bounced at two of its worst places that it's ever been to. I mean, the last time that we were at an area like this was when Bitcoin was back in 2015. And I believe there was another crash back then as well. But if we're looking at this, this is a familiar area. And of course, everyone knows what's happened after Bitcoin was done in 2018 and in 2020. We went from $3,000 to nearly $14,000, from $14,000 down to $4,000, and from $4,000 up to nearly $69,000. And now guess what? We're back at this same level, except we're not at $3,000 and we're not at $4,000. This time around, we are at $30,000 and at the same level. So this could mean that this is the bottom for Bitcoin. Again, is there any proof for this yet? I would say the answer is no. We don't have enough evidence to call this as a bottom for Bitcoin, but the indicators do look nice. And one of the big reasons that I say, and again, we're going to talk a lot about this in Crypt Nation, but one of the big reasons is that Bitcoin is still in this sideways channel. It is below 33,000 and it's above 29,000 down here. And so for that reason, we have to kind of just recognize that Bitcoin's above support but below resistance at this level. And watching these is going to be a really, really important thing to do. Same sort of thing with NASDAQ. NASDAQ is rallying, but it is rapidly approaching resistance as well. The good news here is that altcoins have been getting hurt, and they've been getting hit hard, but even they are starting to rally right now. And so altcoins, if they break out, I think if they can get above around like a $740 billion market cap, look at how much room they have to just kind of free climb in this zone. And I think that could be a really bullish thing for altcoins. So that could be a potential 30% upside potential for the entire altcoin market. Again, some might move more than that, some might move less than that, but altcoins, if they can break this moving average and break that previous high, they could be in a very, very nice spot to see some upside. But the channel is not broken yet, and we still have some major resistance levels. So there's no signs, besides the indicators, there's no signs on the candle chart that this is necessarily over yet, because we are still in the same range. And even though we have broken two different forms of major resistance on Bitcoin, it's not necessarily a foolproof sign that we are in the clear yet. Now I want to talk about two other things happening over here. Number one, the Dogecoin creator Jack Palmer says, "I wish it was the end of crypto, but it's not." And the reason that we want to talk about this is because I think this is a very telling sign of where the cryptocurrency market is at. Even the bears, even the people who do not want crypto to succeed, they're looking at where crypto's at right now and saying, as bad as everything is, this is not the end of crypto. And this is coming from people who know a lot about crypto and who just don't like it. So if you have bears that know a lot about crypto and do not like crypto saying that this is not the end of crypto, it could be something to look into, right? And I couldn't agree with them more. I think cryptocurrency might hurt on these falls, but it's not going to be the end of it. It might get a little bit bruised, it might bleed a little bit, but at the end of the day, those kind of scars are going to be just a blip on the map. And at the end of the day, when we look at this, this run could be completely overshadowed by the next run, just like how 2018 looks in comparison to 2021. So I think there's a little bit of context that we have to understand here. And the second thing is that Luna 2.0 has officially released and it's already tanking. But the significance here is that it's out. It's done. A lot of people have been paying very close attention to this. Is it going to launch? Is it not going to launch? Are they going to get sued? Is there going to be regulation to come? And there could be regulation to come, but I think that this is the last aspect of Luna that we had to get behind us in order for the markets to move forward. The markets were still very much tied up with this situation and the negativity that it brought. And with us moving forward and getting past this now, with them launching, for the most part, I think the worst of the Luna situation is very well behind us. And what this allows people to do is to get compensated for some of the losses that they had in Luna, and now they're able to sell off their Luna or their Luna 2.0 and hopefully recover a little bit of what they lost. It's probably not going to be everything, but hopefully they're able to recover something, and we're able to really move this behind us. But with the entire crypto market looking the way that it is right now, we are still in a little bit of an area of uncertainty, right? Because we're underneath that resistance level, but we're above support. So I think the name of the game here, and again, we're going to speak about this in the newsletter, is really watching what the crypto market wants to do next and seeing if it continues its relationship to something like NASDAQ. But if you guys like this video, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, making sure you drop a comment in the comment section down below, because we have content like this coming out every single week, about 2 to 3 times a week. And if you want to join the Crypt Nation crew as well, there will be a link to that for you to join in the description down below. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.